Tomorrow will mark 60 years since one of the darkest days in Texas history. On August 1st, 1966, a gunman opened fire from the University of Texas Tower. He ended up killing 17 people and injuring dozens more. The tragedy forever changed the UT Austin campus and is widely considered the nation's first modern mass campus shooting. KXAN's Sally Hernandez had a chance to speak with Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett, who was a student at the time of that deadly shooting.
Congressman Doggett, thank you so much for being here and talking to us about this.
Very pleased to join you.
Explain to me where you were on that day.
I was a student at UT's business school. At that time, it was located across from Gregory Gym at 21st and Speedway. And so I happened that day to park south of my class instead of west, where I often parked. Because I went south, I missed the horror that was going on. Had I parked just a few blocks the other way, I would have been in the middle of it. It was a time of great tragedy, but also a time of great courage. My predecessor as student body president at UT was on the drag with another good friend of mine, pulling people off that were shot and warning others.
Because you had parked differently and in another area, were you still there at the time when the shots were fired? I
was there, but not fully aware of what was happening because I probably heard a pop or two, but I was going away from where this happened. I lived very nearby the KXAN studios at the time, only to get home and hear the broadcast of what was the horror that was happening there. 14 lives lost, a number of people wounded, and of course for days after this, as you walk by the main stores on the drag, there were big bullet holes in the window. You know, it was a time when the idea that there would be a mass shooting, unlike today, was as if there had been a flying saucer land on the tower. I mean, it was nothing that anyone conceived of, including our law enforcement, which really were not prepared for this kind of tragedy. There was no SWAT team at the time.
It seemed like it was a very planned and meticulous attack somewhat.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And Whitman did seem to plan it out with the weapons that he brought and the whole approach that he took. It just such a horror for so many young lives that were taken that day. And listening to a broadcaster from one of the stations here, a weather forecaster, announced the death of his grandson who was shot that day. It really rippled across our community, and yet at the same time, when all this was over, because it did seem to be an aberration, not something like this year where we've had 273 mass shootings in America over the few months we've had in this year. And so it was kind of all put aside as if it had never happened. And I was pleased that a number of people in our community, Jim Bryce, others, insisted that there be a memorial. So we, a decade ago, dedicated a memorial just a few steps from the UT Tower. You know, we think of the UT Tower when it turns orange. I remember a time when there was a giant number 1 on it as a point of great pride. And also this happened at a time when Austin didn't have skyscrapers and so many condos downtown. So people would take visitors to the UT Tower to see the city, this much smaller city that existed then, and to see all that then transferred into a place of tragedy was difficult for the whole community to come to deal with.
What do you hope people see today when they see that tower, even on this day? You had mentioned how it was a day of people who were helping others, and the heroism from some of these police officers to stop it.
Absolutely incredible. The two that went right up to the top to take Whitman out and save so many other lives without the kind of training that our police officers have today for dealing with incidents like this. And then, of course, the amazing work that was done on the drag right there just off of the mall on the West Campus to pull people to safety, to try to provide first aid to those who had been shot. So, you know, in answer to your question, and thinking about what we learned from this, I think first and foremost it is the danger of mass shootings that we continue to have didn't happen for many years after this, but now it's almost like a weekly occurrence that we hear there's a mass shooting and deaths, and our need to deal with that and the problems of gun violence, but also to reflect on the fact that some wonderful young people were killed that day, a loss, and that it's important that we remember them and memorialize this event.
Tell me how you are going to remember that day.
Well, I think with prayer and talking to some of the other people. I mentioned Jim Bryce, who's been a leader locally in getting the memorial and reflecting on the moments that could have been me, and it was fellow students and others who just happened to be going to class or out to lunch like usual, and then suddenly this horror developed.
I think it's important that you are honoring the victims and the survivors of this attack, and it almost seems wrong to even say this person's name today.
Yes, it does, because those who should be remembered are the ones who were out there in these incredible acts of heroism as the bullets were flying to pull people to safety and alert others. So I think we remember this event in reflecting on their courage and heroism, as well as memorializing those lives that were lost and cut short, just as life was beginning for many of these people.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us.